Howdy, howdy, Nate here. So you want to create an email sequence that gets people who want to sign up, who want to buy your stuff, and who want to stay on your email list after they've opted into your email list. So let's talk about that. First of all, I wanted to talk about the approaches to get people signed up onto your email list. And really the best question I could ask you here is, when you have signed up for email lists in the past, why have you done it? What was it about that particular email sign up, the pop-up, whatever it was that made you do it? Now, obviously, this is a little bit less on the technical, like, what service provider do you want to use? What pop-up do you want to use? Because when it comes down to it, you want a compelling reason to sign up and to stay signed up. So that immediately means that the ongoing value needs to be really high. There are two schools of thought here. The one is, hey, give something that's really valuable, maybe like a free PDF or, my guide to XYZ in order to, you enter your email and you'll get the download right away. The other is give some sort of ongoing promise of the value of being part of the email sequence in the first place. Now, you're free to experiment with both of those on your site. What I personally have had the most experience with over the years of creating multiple email sequences with great open rates and great opt-in rates and all that, what I've had the most success with is giving a promise of something that is an ongoing value for them. And I'll use an example for this. So I created an email sequence that was for a software as a service company. They provided apps and that kind of thing for people on an ongoing basis, right? And we decided to create a community behind that, the people that were enthusiastic about it. You might say it was kind of a niche, and which is why it's perfectly applicable here. There was a group of people who were very enthusiastic about the software because it allowed them to build, a lot of different things that they wanted to. So all it was there was just a little pop-in on the side, and the headline was "Become an Insider on this group." And underneath it, it said, get access to the email list, get weekly updates, and become part of this exclusive Slack community. Now, there wasn't any free download, there wasn't anything like that, but the compelling reason to be there was an enthusiasm for the people visiting the site, the community in the first place, and then they saw, oh wait, there's additional exclusive stuff that I only get if I join this email list. That's the kind of feeling you're going for here. Because the concern is, and I'm willing to bet I'm not the only one here that's done this, I'm willing to bet you've done this also, where you've opted into something because there was some sort of free download, some ebook, some PDF or something, you're like, I really want that, but they didn't do a good enough job of selling you, of staying on the list, so you opted in, you downloaded the thing, and then you opted out the same day. Tell me I'm not the only one that's done that. Now we're looking to avoid doing that, right? With your own email list, because you have an opportunity to create a list of people that you own that audience. You have that email list and they have given you their consent to be there because they recognize that you are going to provide an ongoing value for them. So you can take it either way here. You can do a opt-in, some sort of like, hey, here's your free thing, but make sure if you do that you also include a strong ongoing value proposition for them. If that's a weekly update where you only, let's say you're in a specific niche and you have the industry knowledge and you're going around and you're curating a specific list of very interesting things that happened during that week, and you're only giving it to your insiders, to your email list. That would provide a strong, compelling reason for your niche to sign up and then stay signed up. Okay, the next thing, once they've signed up, we've got two things going on. There's the initial evergreen sequence, which all that means is they sign up and there's a series of emails that are automated. And then there's also the ongoing emails. We've already spoken briefly about the ongoing emails, but let's talk about the evergreen sequence. The idea here is to give them a welcome and immediately deliver on the promise that you made when they entered their email, their precious information, their name and their email. Deliver on that, start showing that you are a real person and you're going to deliver on that immediately. Now what follows is very customized to your specific niche, but the basic outline is a series of emails that describe the various aspects of what they're going to get as being part of your community. Now the things you can do here is, one, you can actually show exclusive knowledge of the niche. You can say, did you know that I found this? And it's some sort of evergreen topic that not a lot of people know about. And maybe it's original research, original something that you did. And you say, hey, look, you know what? I did this. Another approach can be providing in the first few emails, maybe it's the first email saying, hey, welcome, here are your first steps to get started in XYZ. Here, I did a YouTube video on this. Here, I did an article about this. You can take an approach like that where it's like, hey, look, I curated a list of my best resources. I put them together for you. It's all free, and here they are for you. Another purpose for your email list, your evergreen list, is to upsell, is to give them compelling reasons to purchase your info product or something that you are offering. Now, obviously, we don't want to be too salesy with this. We always want to come across as personable. And I personally would take the approach with your niche of saying, look, this is another aspect of the niche that a lot of people don't think of. But look what I did with it. I broke it down and I did this, this, and this. If you want to see more, go check it out and add a link to your website. So when you are offering something, when you are calling them to action, when you are inviting people to do something within your email sequence, you want it to be very clear what you want them to do. In any given email, you want people to be able to see, look, this is exactly what the invitation is here, and this is the definite benefit of me taking action on this email. So a note with that is you want to typically you never want to point to more than one outside source, because with that clarity thing, any one single link, if you can have the same link multiple times in the email, but you don't want to be pointing to too many things at once unless it's some sort of conglomeration, these are the top 3 next steps for you to take. But if you're offering something, you're calling them to action, if you're pointing out a specific aspect of being part of that insiders group in your niche, then only have one link, one external link, so it's very clear they can click through and that's what they get. A note on writing style here. A few key things always you want to do. One, always use their name. When they opt in, I like to ask and say first name and then your email. The reason I do that is because it just adds another level of, hey, this is a real person, I'm a real person, just give me your first name. You don't ask for their full name, just say, hey, here's your first name. Use their real name at the beginning of emails. And most email providers provide a way for you to do a merge tag where you can just say, hey, merge tag for first name, and it will automatically populate that for you. The next thing is use your real name. Every email should be written like you are the one writing it. Always avoid third party or we're so glad for you to be here, or our mission is, because that just sounds corporate. It should be, I'm so glad you're here, and I'm here to help you just rock out in whatever your niche is. So always use first person language there. And then when you are putting links into your email body, make sure you use compelling language, not just click this link to get XYZ. Man, we could argue about this, but I have had much more success in the past doing multiple email sequences where I would put a link into the body that was more like, look, here is this, here, what's a niche? Here, I'll use the software example. Here's this software. Hey, we did this specific thing where we do, roundups of all the news about this software every single week. And I could, at that point, say, click here to see the roundup. Or I could also say, and here's a really good roundup example. And that whole line being a link. Here's a really good roundup example. Or here is the most recent roundup for this software. And then just making that into the text body instead of click here or here's the link or go here to check it out. I mean, the more you can pull it into the actual text, at least if you're doing multiple links, pull it into the actual text. If you do want to have a single button that's like, here's your action button, then that's fine also. And then a note on the email subject. Just like with YouTube or with a blog post where the title is the most aspect of it, the same thing is true for emails. Do take your time to spice up those email subjects. Avoid making them sound corporate. By all means, avoid making them sound corporate. Make them sound like this is a real person and I'm emailing you and this is something really cool I found. Or this is, have you ever wondered this? Making each title compelling is the difference between a higher open up rate and a lower open up rate. Once they actually open, making the links actually compelling is the difference between a high click-through rate and a low click-through rate. So an example of a compelling title versus a non-compelling title. Non-compelling title would be, check out my new XYZ, or this XYZ is awesome, or here's a new update from my group, update from my website, this. A lot of those just feel kind of canned and you just don't want to have that. Contrast that with a title that's more like, I made this for you and I hope you like it. Or this is what a lot of my people are asking for. This could be for you. Or this one trick made me double my business within 60 days. you kind of sexy it up a bit and add those elements into it, not clickbaiting, but you add those elements in there and give them compelling reason to click through. The thing I can say here is if you had any experience writing blog post titles and you see which ones work and which ones don't, take that same, there are several of the same aspects that can be pulled into that. The same thing is true for YouTube videos. If you are finding that certain types of titles are working better than others, take hints from that and apply it to your emails. Now on to the question of how many emails should you have in your evergreen sequence. This one is tricky because it's really just a matter of you want the right amount of emails. And the right amount being, you want it to be enough to give a great intro to what they can expect and everybody gets the same thing, but you don't want so much that you're fatiguing them already. So good rule of thumb here is between 4 and 7 emails delivered over a 2 to 2.5 week time period after the initial sign up. The reason I say that is from my experience, it's enough to give them a good intro, but not so much that you're bombarding every single day. Unless that is specifically the expectation you set at the beginning, which if that is the case, then okay, you can do every single day. For most people, that is way too often. They generally want a 3 days between emails, 2 to 3 day cool down between emails to not feel like, this person, I don't know what I signed up for, and I'm out of here. So you definitely don't want that to happen. You want it to feel fresh and new and personable, like this is a real person and I am genuinely getting some excellent value from the get-go. Just a quick note here at the end about the ongoing email sequence. After you've done your evergreen, after they've signed up, they've got the evergreen, they've got the starting sequence. This is, this is my introduction to your specific group. Then they want to know what is the next, like what is the ongoing value that you're providing for them. And if you do choose to do one of these, here are a few key points I would make sure that you do. 1, make sure that it's exclusive content that they can't get anywhere else across your channels, your YouTube channel, on your blog, anything like that. Make sure that the approach or the content itself are things that are new and fresh. And then the second thing is you want to make sure that producing this, unless it's a large portion of your business, producing these weekly or bi-weekly emails are as automated as possible. You want it to be a process. This is what I do every single week, and then I publish, and then I publish. This ongoing value factor is not unlike what I would describe as the subscribability factor of a YouTube channel. It's different because there can be a compelling reason to come watch one video, but to come watch one video and then actually subscribe to watch all of the videos is a very different aspect. So that's what we're going for here. With the ongoing value, you want the initial upfront, this is the value bomb, this is awesome. And then every single week or bi-weekly, whatever you decide to do for your email list, this is the value that I'm getting and I want to open every single email. So that's it, go make some email sequences. Oh, one more thing that I failed to mention here. Across the board, in your back end and in the front end, avoid using the words list, newsletter, any of the typical, like, people don't want to feel like they're in a herd, like a herd of cows, and you're just like, here's another list, you're another name on my massive database. Just avoid that at all costs. Things to replace that would be things like an insider group, the exclusive group. You don't want to make it too exclusive because then people are like, is that real or is that not? Or my community or something like that. You do something a little bit different so that people don't feel like they're just being slammed into a big pile of back end. This is monstrosity. Just definitely avoid that.